Thanks for the love. I appreciate that, universe family. Thanks for the love. I appreciate that, universe family. Thanks for the love. I appreciate that, universe family. I'm a painkiller. Family, glad to be back with you. Let me cut that down because I know it's gonna be a backward echo. I hate that. I know the camera ain't on yet. I gotta get back to it. I've been doing too much, and I actually do like that song. So you're lucky. I was gonna let it play, which is funny because I don't know. I just think that song go hard. All right, here we go. Hold on. Bam, we together. All right, let me take my do rag off too. So glad to be back with you. I hope you've been having a fantastic week. Liberty, I appreciate the share. Um, much love as always. Thanks for your support. You know what I mean? One day we gonna get rich. We gonna listen to that song I was just listening to. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I got a true story about Liberty. And it's a side story. But if you know me, I got a lot of stories. I'm in one day. I picked her up, right? I don't even remember where we were going. I think we were coming to or something. You know the story I'm about to tell. And man, I don't know what it was about this dude, but it just seemed like it was his day that he felt like we were the one to try. And dude is wilding. Like he brake checking me. And at this point, I got real bad road rage, right? But Liberty, you know what I mean? She generally tries to present herself as a calm person. So because she in the car, I know I can get crazy. I don't want her to get nervous because I start tripping, right? But dude would not stop. Dude kept slamming the hit. Like if I change lanes to go mind my business, dude would get in front of me and slam on his brakes. Right? And I don't know what it was. But after the last time he tried to slam on his brakes, dude pulls up beside me in traffic. And he got tinted windows and he is holding his phone like this. Like it's a gun. Right. Hey, right. We can discuss the calmness. You know what I mean? You present yourself as calm, but don't let that fool you, right? So, dude drives up beside us and pulls out his fake gun. But surprisingly, I actually had a real gun. So he pointed his fake gun at me. I point my real gun at him. Right? And at this point, I kind of low key forgot that Liberty was in the car with me. So it's just basically sitting in front of her face. And she is trying to hold it together. She ain't breathe. She ain't look. She ain't do nothing. And that literally was the only thing that got that dude to leave us alone. You know what I mean? It was crazy. So then I'm like, this North Carolina. Everybody got a gun. Like, you just gotta assume. It's safer to assume that they got a gun than to think they don't. You know what I mean? And we riding there looking like we in our church car and everything. I was driving Skip 300 then. You remember that? Looking like we just left church. Fun day. All right, family. Anyway, side story. I got distracted. Glad you're here. I hope you have a great time. Who are we? I am Soul Swami, otherwise known as Soul Swami on social media, because I'll try to heal your soul. And what we do here is we discuss all things healing, and we do some energy readings, and we take some tests. We do a lot of different things, but it's all centered around healing and growth and developing ourselves to try to become the best version of ourselves that we envision ourselves to be, right? And we come together. We meet every Tuesday and Thursdays, right? I say that Tuesday night is our Soul Swami Live, where it's almost like a variety show. So you're gonna have energy read where we'll have energy reading sometime. As a matter of fact, I need to make a post because I need somebody to have some courage and go ahead and jump on here and do a live energy reading again, because we haven't done that in a while. So we do energy readings. We discuss spaces of healing. We discuss all types of things again. But that's on Tuesday nights. And then Thursday nights, we have book club. Book club was a spinoff of Tuesday night. Book club is a space that allows us to reconnect with the child in us. Hey, listen, I thought I found some money. You know how that be. Reconnect with the child in us, because if you've ever been around a child, most children love somebody to read to them. As long as they're one of them children that can be still. They're a child that can't be still, then you understand. You gotta read to them and make them run in place. That's just how you do. Make them do jumping jacks while you tell them the story. For real, real. And you can catch us anywhere that you feel comfortable. We are on everything, really, right, family? We on TikTok. We on Twitch. We on we on Facebook. We on Instagram. I think Instagram is probably, I don't know, just the connection to something that just makes it difficult for people. So I don't get what the Instagram is, but we are on there. You can catch us there Tuesdays and Thursday night. Before every show, we generally do a chakra energy cleaning exercise. And this Tuesday, we are on the solar plexus, one of my favorite, because I make a lot of gut-based decisions. And it's funny, we were talking about it last night, and I in the men's group, and I talked about how I feel the emotions in my stomach and stuff like that. So we're on the solar plexus, which is your stomach area, and the color for that is yellow. Hence, the yellow tone lighting allows us to do a little bit of light therapy and heal ourselves with the color and the power of light. But only the power that you give it through that power of belief. The element for your solar plexus is fire. I love it. We generally always do the bridge burning exercise, because one of my favorite quotes is and will always be, "May the bridges I burn light my way." I love that quote because it's the truth. Sometimes you got to burn some bridges, and I ain't never going back across because I just used it to light my way, right? So we do that. Your solar plexus is about your personal power. It's about your self-esteem. Mm. It's about your strength, ego, and confidence. Funny, I did that because it's ironic that we're on there, because life has given me the opportunity this week to be able to recognize how my ego can still get in the way of some of this healing or helping others heal. Some stones that are good for your solar plexus are citrine. If you watch it on Thursday night, generally on my table, I got a big stone by the size of my hand that is citrine. Good for your stomach. Tiger's eye. I did have a tiger's eye, but it kept falling off my chain. So I felt like it had served its purpose to me, so I passed it on to somebody else who needed protection. Ironically, I got some pyrite, topaz, yellow jasper, and they got some sunstone, things like that. Some smells, lemon, think yellow, jasper. I mean juniper, ginger, lemongrass. Think yellow. Eat foods that are yellow, corn, bananas. I know people say a lot of different things about corn, but I love corn. Off the cob. Corn on the cob drives me crazy. It is one of my pet peeves. Not that you asked, but I thought I'd share. I hate that because you're going to be digging it out your teeth. TikTok, y'all busy today. Oh, that's a nice name. I like that. Delightful. I like that. It sounds sentimental. I hope you are as delightful as your name is. That's a good choice for a social media name. So, what we gonna do next? We're gonna do the bowl. I did bring my ukulele. I'm gonna play my ukulele. Listen, I got to one part. I figured out how to start it all over. So this song has turned into like the song that never ends. I don't know. I still ain't no better, but who cares, right? Because I'm just learning. But check this out though. I finally got to the part. Toddy, thanks for joining. Thanks for speaking. We ain't talking bad. You missed the story. You missed the story. Listen. I also brought it because my spirit said, "I swear to you. I swear to you." I also brought it because I was like, I don't know. They probably tired of my damn ukulele. But then I was like, I bet Liberty gonna say something about it tonight. So I brought the uke. So it's out here. But also because I told you, man, that was a nice compliment. You know what I mean? But Tyler, you missed the story about why I inadvertently put a pum pum in Liberty's face because this dude was harassing us on the highway. Crazy. I had to tell you another time. It's still the same song. It's funny you said that too, cause I was like, yo, I need to think some lyrics for this. Right. Since I made it up, I might as well go full steam ahead. That's what makes it exciting, family. That is an original note. I do not know how to play the ukulele. I am making that up as I go, right? So I'm not totally naive to the ukulele though, right? I did do some research. I did some studying, but I don't know what I'm doing. So, but as you can tell, it gets a little bit better, right? And that to tell you this my that start over, so I messed up a little bit there, but when I go from and then I do it backwards. So that was my reverse. So I can start it all back over again. It took me forever to figure that out. Now I might have to think of an ending because we'll get there. But thanks for enjoying me, and thanks for lesson talking about I'm serenading you. Yeah, okay, yeah, Toddy. Dude kept slamming his brakes on us, so it was crazy. Cause you know, Toddy done hung with me a couple of times, and I don't think she's ever seen the fire. And that's the only time Liberty seen the fire, right? Cause I generally go by them rules. She been with me a couple of times. Well, no, she might have seen it on. I think I might have brought it in her crib a couple of times. I ain't even gonna lie. A couple of times she done lived in some places, boy. I was like, boy, I'm gonna keep that heat on me. Yeah, hey, gotta keep it close by. Not close by. I'm gonna keep that thing on me. All right, fella, I'm tripping hard. I'm sorry. Oh God. Yeah, but I definitely I actually was thinking about lyrics today, and it's funny because what did I? Okay, so right, the first and only time, and you know it's been around you every time. Every time you've seen me, it has been there. So it's funny because the lyrics. I think I might have mentioned it. I had a dream the other week that, as a matter of fact, I really do need to look that up. What chord is? What is that? Hold on, man. What's going on? Hold on now. Oh man, God dog, I done messed up. So I had a dream that I. It's crazy. So I had some extra. It's funny you said that, cause we when I was in Winston the other week doing that conference, right? Doing reggae at that conference. Um, we were talking to one of my fellow tribe members that were out there with us to do Reiki, and they had never gone camping. So we're trying to tell them that it's an experience that you want to have. It's one of the safest. I mean, it's the safest camp experience that you can imagine. I ain't hear no criticism. As a matter of fact, I set my tent up in my mama backyard and had more critters bother me in the middle of the night than I did when I went out camping. But I told her I was one of, I'm a city slicker, so being out in them woods like that was wild. Like I like to visit the woods, like you know what I mean. If we doing four wheelers or doing some woods and stuff, but spending the night out there, that's beyond my league. I'm a city slicker. So girl, I went out there camping. You talking about stay strapped with something, girl? I had, oh my god, I had that bow. I had two machetes. I had a 12 gauge, 380. Like I told everybody, I went out there to hand out like an animal attack. We gonna have to win, man. At least with the weaponry. I brought a long list. I was so nervous, but didn't nothing come out. As a matter of fact, the next day I was like, I didn't even really need all that stuff, but you know, it was funny. But yeah, always safe than sorry. Listen, I'm so bad with that. I'll be giving it to. Listen, it's funny because Toddy, she might have disappeared now, but anyway, I met her and gave her a bat. It's a little mini bat. I can't say what we call it, but we call it the bee beater, right? She still got that bee beater. I done gave away Shetty. Like, man, you never know. People be tripping out here sometime. You rather have it or not, neither. But anyway, moving on. Sorry, family, we got sidetracked. We just on here talking today. Um, yeah. So what I was saying was, I had a dream where you talking about the music, the lyrics, and all that. That I had some extra chords to my ukulele, and I had like four of them, four extra chords, which is crazy. So, and they were for the A note. I knew they was for the A note. I'm like, why I got four A note chords? Which is funny because it ain't the A note that I visualize on my chord. I mean, on my guitar, it ain't the same string that is the A note. But the A note is supposed to be for third eye. So, maybe, maybe that dream was also telling me something because one of the things I want to talk about a little bit is that I learned, I don't know, I guess I call them auxiliary points or something like that. Um, where other people's gifts are intertwined with mine and their intuitions and their things are low key just helping me. And it has afforded me no such thing as coincidence, synchronicity of life. And it really has afforded me, recognizing this has afforded me the opportunity to. I did a spiritual journey this weekend, recognize how much my ego still gets in the way, and also allowed me to pour into a couple of people this weekend. One of them has been my childhood friend. Literally, I've known her since I give her eighth grade. I know we definitely was in eighth grade. I know we had an eighth grade class together. Definitely ninth grade for sure. You know what I mean? I remember she was in that class with my whole boy boo her ass. So I've known her since ninth grade, right? You know what I mean? And it's just been wild. So I was able to pour into a friend and then somebody that she connected me to. Yeah, just because I was able to put my ego to the side of my thought processes, you know what I mean? Which is funny. Um, well, shit, the opportunities now, I'm gonna take it. So it really was about my one of my general talk points. I want to talk about my auxiliary points, man. So I got a friend who I was talking about. I've known since middle school, and over the last year or so, it's been funny. She's been, interestingly enough, trying to hook me up, right? Right? And it's just by what many people would think is happenstance, because it's not like, so like even this last opportunity, it was just somebody came to her office and that person happened to know me and somehow I happened to come up in the conversation. So she's been trying to hook me up loosely, right? But introduce me to women. And it's funny because out of, out of all the women friends that I have, she's really the only one who does that. And I find it I've had another one try. A girl I model with try one time. Well, I guess that girl's like no. But this one right here, she's the only one who seems like, and it's picked up lately. It's just something that she's done. As a matter of fact, it's picked up since we've been on our healing journey together. Literally. So since we've done this Reiki and been laying hands and reading energy and learning about ourselves and answering questions and all that stuff, her introducing me to women have been interesting, right? It's been picking up pace, right? But so she introduced me to these women with the intentions of dating, right? And the first time, the woman just wasn't. Both times, really, the women aren't women that I would date, right? And the reason why is they aren't emotionally available. They still have some emotional availability in a partner is something I used to overlook, right? Because sometimes you can see that as aloofness, or you can see that they don't feel safe, or there's a million different reasons why a person is emotionally unavailable, right? And previously, I used to justify that. And that justification would allow me to date emotionally unavailable people, thinking that if they get in an emotional situation, they may become emotionally available. But if you've ever dated someone who is emotionally unavailable, you know how false that idea is. So now that I recognize that, and I'm a lot smarter because I'm not trying to heal anybody else, right? Um, I recognize that emotional unavailability is a red flag in dating, right? I don't have the capacity, nor do I want the capacity to be able to help someone in the dating and through that in dating while I'm dating them. Now, if I'm not dating them and we're doing Reiki, I don't mind helping you, but not while my life's on the line. I'd rather just find somebody who's more emotionally unavailable. I mean, emotionally available. So the women were emotionally unavailable, right? But the first one was nice woman, but emotionally unavailable. And because I knew that, I just let the relationship go. I ain't think nothing else about it because I'm all right. Well, cool. Congratulations. Not for me. Cool. So I let that go. Then the second opportunity, it came out even wilder because my friend made up some stuff that this woman didn't say, right? This woman didn't say none of these words. My friend made it up, right? But later on, I realized that what she made up was her spirit talking to me. And as I put my ego to the side, I would have recognized what she was saying. So essentially, um, she was saying that the next person was emotionally unavailable too, right? And it's crazy because um, when this next person came and the emotional unavailability energy rose to the surface, immediately I'm like, of course, I'm not about to date that. Not even possible, right? But it just happened to happen that I was on my spiritual journey and this person inboxed me to apologize for, I call it a soft apology because it was a soft apology, but to let me know that some of the things that were said were not necessarily who she was as a person, right? And at that point, I put my ego to the side. I stopped looking at her as someone that I could date or would date. Stop looking at her in a box of dating. And then just looked at the energy that is presented to me, right? And what I recognize that in that connection, that there's an opportunity for healing to go on, right? So even though I may not necessarily see that person as a dating option, there is an option, an opportunity for healing to go on, which is one of the reasons I think my friend is pointing these people my direction, right? So what I recognize about her is her gift is like that. I said that I haven't said this to her, but if she has it, but I think her spirit is one of the few, not one of the few, but one that I can definitely tell is a true believer of whatever this gift is or whatever we're doing, because I recognize in her, her spirit is a shepherd. So she got a little flock of people that she lead, and they love her to death, and they will go anywhere. And generally, with that, other than that, she points people in the right direction to the healing that they need. So she's an excellent shepherd, right? And what I didn't recognize until I put my ego to the side is that she was shepherding people in need of help and healing to me. But my ego stood in the way of that, right? And I say all this whole story too, so you can
also assess when your ego might be standing in the way. Maybe you are only viewing this person as a box, in a box of what you anticipated the relationship to be or what you anticipated the behaviors to be. Maybe that was it, right? But take opportunity to put those thoughts aside and look at the energy that is presented in front of you. What is it telling you? Trust your intuition, trust your gift. My extra guitar strings, so I'm laughing because maybe my friend is one of those extra guitar strings, right? Maybe she's one of those guitar strings, and she'd be the one that be unexpected too, right? Which is great. So since we talking now, I'm not even going back to the bowl. We just gonna keep rattling on. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't set up the do do do. I ain't set up the prompts. Well, we'll talk a little bit. Anyway, so now since I'm talking trash, we on our general talk thing, we're gonna go with the energy. Like I said, normally we do an energy reading or not an energy reading, but some bull. But I think, genuinely think, the opportunity for us to just get into talking presented itself. So here we are. We are talking. I don't know who Pop Mart is. All right, let's get this right. Impossible Dream. Yo, listen, y'all got some real, real interesting names today. I appreciate that. Impossible Dream. And what was the other one I just said? That was a good one. Um, I feel like it was something about dream. You know, something else I wanted to talk about. Listen, I also this week has allowed me an opportunity to be able to recognize some thought process that really don't resonate with my spirit, right? And it was one of those thought processes that I used to, or a lot of times, one of them is that I'm okay if it doesn't happen, right? So I hear this a lot in interacting with people, and it's always presented in a space of comfort, right? So generally, whenever you hear somebody say that I'm okay if it doesn't happen, they generally say that with an energy of comfort and an energy of security and a certain level of certainty, right? Since we're moving on. But what I'm beginning to recognize, and one of the reasons why I think that it doesn't resonate with my spirit so much anymore is because I'm seeing a pattern. One of my gifts is math, and I see a pattern. And I'm not saying that this is the only reason, but one pattern that I'm picking out from the people who think with that thought process is emotional unavailability. So a lot of times when I run into people with that thought process or I hear that thought process, these are people that are essentially saying that they are not going to do what is necessary to achieve their own dreams. I'm like, I'm okay if my dreams don't happen. And here we don't understand that because there is a design for our lives and our dreams are supposed to happen. We work towards them. We put the effort in. We admire people who still believe in their dreams and go after them. So in this environment, we don't understand this level of comfort that if it doesn't happen, because we don't see it not happening. We're going to keep working until it does. So I think before where I used to take that as just a level of comfort, now I recognize it as a space of disconnection. So when I hear somebody say that, or when I hear somebody move in that energy, that is definitely a sign for me to do a little more digging on seeing why they are saying that, right? Because when emotions get high, you will see them opt out and they will say things like we talked about before. We are choosing peace. But we already said peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is having the tools to navigate conflict in a healthy way. You dig? You dig? We talked about it in the men's group. Like there are some Native American cultures, they had a chief for various times. They had a war chief and they had a peace chief, right? And of course, you understand what a war chief does. He does anything that's necessary to win that war, right? So you got to also understand that a peace chief has that same mindset. They're willing to do whatever's necessary to keep that peace. And that does not mean that they don't engage in conflict. They go at it looking for a solution or doing what's necessary to rid of that conflict, right? So it doesn't resonate with my spirit either. So then the next thing that came up that kind of hasn't been resonating with my spirit is because it's this, after we took our apology quiz, mine came up with accountability. Accountability is huge for me. And that's good and bad at times. It can be a gift and a curse, however we like to say it. But that statement of the idea that this statement kind of portrays, the people can change right in front of your eyes. Like people change. Like you met, I met this person and they were perfect. Then all of a sudden they changed, right? And one of the reasons that no longer resonates with my spirit because I look at my own life and I look at lives around me, right? And a lot of those people that changed just like that, they didn't change. We just overlooked the signs that they were that person, right? Or we saw them do somebody else a very interesting way that didn't resonate with our spirit, or something that we didn't like, and we just didn't think it was our turn, or we never even went as far to even consider the possibility. Because the truth of the matter is, people don't change that much. They refine who they are, and that means they might bring other qualities more to the front than they did before. So some of those things that in the dark come to the light, and some of those things in the light go to the dark. But people don't change that much. That's why we don't get on people or build relationships with the idea of change. Because what if they never, ever, ever change, right? So this idea of people change right in front of you removes accountability from your choices. It neglects you from, it doesn't allow you the opportunity to learn behaviors and mannerisms of people who act like that, right? Because you felt like they changed. So there was nothing you can see before that change that could have led you to believe that. No thoughts, no ideas, no learning. It removes accountability and responsibility directly off of you, right? Which is wild because your experiences are based on your choices. So if you want to make better choices, you got to take accountability for where you made some interesting choices and see how you can not make those choices again, which winds up bringing us here, right? The last thing I think I wanted to talk about, well, the last thing I just wanted to randomly talk about. ah, ha, ha, ha. Please refrain from posting links, man. Come on. Come on, Hughes. You got to do better than that, bro. At least if you're going to come in here and be a bot, man, give me a follow on Twitch. Show some love. Tap that screen. Matter of fact, give me a galaxy. Do something good with your life. Right? Show some love. That's fantastic. Something that was funny, and it kind of just made me think about it. because I don't know. I just this in the space. I think the energy is good for us to be able to let some things go, but to be able to let it go, we got to bring it to the surface, right? And this one is an interesting one because I kind of deal with it all the time. This listen, colorism is wild in our community and is so perverse. And what makes it so interesting now is the damage and the harm that colorism does has gone so microaggression. Like when I was growing up, colorism was in your face. It was like Jim Crow. You was dark skinned like me, you was an African booty scratcher. No bottom, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why when I was a kid, I never told anybody where I was from. That only would have solidified that I was an African booty scratcher. Whatever that is, an African booty scratcher, right? So racism, I mean, colorism was kind of in your face, right? But then when I went to my master's program, I learned de jure, racism de jure, which is wasn't like Jim Crow. The laws weren't on the books, so people can deny that racism was as bad as it was. So since people aren't as blatant with their colorism as it was before, it's more nuanced and a lot more microaggressive, right? And it's funny because one way these microaggressions show up is through this idea of preference, right? And I remember, for real, I remember when being dark skinned got cool and people were liking me just because I was dark skinned. Women were choosing me just because I was dark skinned. And that was new. That's the total opposite of people not talking to you just because you were dark skinned, right? And I was in a space that had never experienced that before. So it was a new energy. And I loved it. I remember I dated a girl, no lie, and listen to me. She was older than me. I think I was 28 and she was 32 at this point. She was a little older than me. And she was like, I was the first dark skinned person she ever dated in her life. And I was okay with that because I recognized the growth and it was new for being wanted for something that so many people for so long did not like, right? And now I recognize that that preference for liking someone because they are dark skinned is just as harmful as not liking them because they are dark skinned. And the reason why both of those are harmful is because it doesn't allow you to learn the character of the person, assess who they are. You just make assumptions. Like, I mean, it's wild. And why does this come up is because colorist jokes enter my life. And I think the wild thing about it is people get comfortable and they don't recognize how much colorism has affected their lives. So, and even as being black people, one joke that we always talk about is getting darker in the sun. There's a lot of jokes around summer skin, dark skin, getting darker. People will say a dark skin joke to a dark skinned person. So in the summer, it's no different from me. I'm I'm chocolate all year round. You feel me? So all that to say really is to really think about how some of these ideas have permeated our thought patterns and our processes, and think about some of these microaggressions that we may be inflicting, the trauma we may be inflicting on people, because a lot of those preferences are trauma based preferences. They're not even real reasons to like, and people won't even have a good reason. It's like, I just don't. Nah, you've been conditioned not to even like your own people, not to appreciate the variations of skin tone that you have throughout the seasons, much less appreciate the variations of skin tones that your culture has. So much so that we find it funny, right? Again, so think about these ideas and process and think about if they really do fit for who you are and where you are going, and do they match your thoughts and ideas currently. All right, family. So we're supposed to go to the prompts. I did not open the prompts yet, so I'm about to open them now. So give me a second, people. Oh no. Whatever that is. Ooh, God, excuse me. That was rude. Do-do-do. Liberty, how your grandbaby doing? Did you take a break? It is about that time when you are getting your baby girl together. You could lose access to Union Academy. Who is applying to Union Academy? Let me know. Let me know. Letting go. Boo-doo-boo, boo-doo-boo. Where were we with the letting go prompts, family? Remember? I think we were on about question two, but who's gonna pick up? See. Listen, I be loving when my bots actually work. So I gotta set up bot moderators. And Twitch always got somebody um okay, trying to video capture, screen capture. Hey, that works. Why does it look so easy? Mm-mm. Capture window. Let me switch. That is better. You off screen. That is better. So, family. Where were we? Doo-doo-doo. We did do something that we've held on long too far. Um, all right, let's start with number four. Doo-doo-doo. Join Community Fest. What was it? Oh man, my camera look all big. Let's see if I can adjust it for you, family. All right. Whoop, whoop. Thanks, Toddy. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. All right, so now I'm gonna have to do you like we used to do at work too. I'm gonna just call you out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. So, do you associate letting go with giving up? It was funny because I thought about that question last week and I was like, nah. But if I'm being honest with myself, it was crazy because in the men's group they asked us a question, and I think it was a great question, but it was an emotion one where we had to really be honest with ourselves. And the question was something to the effect of, what emotions or feelings do you visit most often? Right? And of course, there were emotions and feelings that I visit most often. And being honest, one of the emotions or the feelings that I visit most often is this idea of loneliness, this feeling of loneliness, right? And it's funny because I was talking to a friend and they have someone staying with them now, right? And they're like, I can't wait till that person no longer stays with them. And I'm like, take your time and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because being alone is cool until you're alone all the time. And it's different. It takes a different set of tools to be able to navigate spending a lot of time alone, right? So I recognize that one of the feelings that I visit a lot is loneliness. And then that spun into this idea with do I associate letting go with giving up, right? Because one reason I can't let go, one is trying to avoid some of that feeling, and it feels like I'm like generally like for real, it feels like I'm a quitter. Like I don't want to be no quitter. And I remember I quit a couple of things in high school, and when I learned that lesson about quitting, I was like, I'm not gonna quit. I'm not no quitter, right? I'm not gonna quit. And that has been a sometimes it's been an Achilles heel, right? In thinking because I don't recognize it makes it more difficult for me associating giving up, letting go with giving up makes it a little more difficult to recognize when it's time to move on because you keep investing energy, time, and opportunity in yourself in a situation hoping for an outcome that you firmly believe that you can achieve if you keep on working because you ain't a quitter. But there are times where the outcome can be achieved, but you may not want to pay the cost, nor should you want to pay the cost, right? And if you're being honest with yourself, attaching letting go to giving up, if you're being honest, the feelings, you got to think about the feelings that are creating you. And when I let go, I don't like, oh, well, sometimes. But sometimes that feeling revisits me like, dang. And I got to coach myself through the emotions and the feelings of it again because now I got the proper tools. And I think that essentially is the why or why not. So why do you associate letting go with giving up? What is your whys or why not? Why don't you associate letting go with giving up? You might be better at recognizing when it's time to move on, right? And I preach that about recognizing when it's time to move on, and I help people with that. And that's why I say we're doing this together because the things that I point out are issues that I have as well, that we all are working on together. We're talking about letting go because I also need to work on my relationship with this idea of letting go, right? Number five is funny to me because it asks, what emotions come up when you think about releasing control? Anxiety. Anxiety. I get anxious giving up control. Man, I get so anxious. And that spins into a lot of different things because that anxiety that I get from this idea of letting go, giving up control, come from my lack of trust. I don't trust people, which is the thing that we all have been working on. We working on our relationship with trust came when we started talking about it as a space. And when we injected that idea of trust is to be given, not earned. And one of the reasons I don't like control, I can't let go of control, or the anxiety comes when I release control is because I trust. So I'm high on anxiety, low on trust. If I had high on trust, I'd be low on anxiety because it wouldn't bother me. Like I know that person is capable. And then for real, most people who step into leadership positions are wanting to take control do not need it. Most of the best leaders I've met in my life, they don't really want that responsibility. You know what I mean? The ones that I've seen to be dangerous is the people who are fighting for control, right? You got to watch them sometimes. And I was even one of those people that was fighting for control because of my lack of trust. And I really think I'm smart. And I ain't want somebody who was not as smart as me or smarter than me taking control of a situation that is going to lead me. I get so much anxiety about that, right? The first opportunity that I even had to be able to work on that relationship with the anxiety that comes up with the idea of releasing control is delegation through work. I had to trust that I hired the right people. I had to trust that they can do their job. And I had to allow them to do it. It's the same thing with relationships. Romantic. It's really a trust question. What emotions come up when you think about releasing control? And then when you think about those emotions, think about why those emotions come up. So another reason why I know that it creates anxiety is because I made a vow to myself also as a child. When I was a kid, adults had control over me. And when you a kid and adults have control over you, they don't always make decisions that are best for you. They just make the decisions that they think are best for you. But since they're not you, they don't always know. And a lot of adults don't invest the time to fully understand who they are leading, right? So I vowed that when I got older, I don't want to let nobody tell me nothing. Ain't nobody finna lead me no damn where. You can't lead me to a vow. You can't tell me. And it's funny because occasionally that energy still comes up and I laugh because I know I made that vow. So I know that anxiety also comes from trauma. And realistically, I made an unfair vow to myself. And there are many opportunities that presented themselves where I had to allow somebody to be able to lead me. And it's better to learn how to recognize those opportunities, recognize those people, recognize that energy, the situations, because they do move, they carry themselves in a certain way where it's okay to release control. Recognize what safety looks like to you. Because many of us want to feel safe, but you be like, what makes you feel safe? I don't know. So we have to really go down, dig deep about what that is. is a sign of strength or weakness? I think it is both. So I think it can be a sign of strength when you find comfort in knowing that you've done all that you could do, or that your learning and growth has plateaued and there's no more there for you. And you haven't made a lifetime commitment, right? So I think being able to let go and recognize those opportunities on when to let go and actually taking the steps of letting go can be a sign of strength, right? The ironic thing about that is that walking away and letting go isn't a for sure. Sometimes the feeling or the strength that it gives us empowers us to make bad decisions, right? So we really do have to recognize if the strength, the feeling that that letting go is giving us is a healthy feeling, because it does make us feel good. But are the decisions really are the decisions good for all parties involved, right? Because we know our decisions are like a butterfly effect. You flap your wings, monsoon on the other side of the earth, right? So our ideas, our thoughts, our decisions affect other people. And then the way that I think it's uh-oh, messing with my camera. A weakness is like earlier when I said it's a cop out. People will use that letting go because they are quitters, to quit, or to not have any responsibility for their actions, or because they don't want to apologize, or because they don't want to invest the energy. There's a multitude of reasons on why letting go can be from a weakened position, energetic position. If self-doubt has encouraged you to let go, that is a weakened position. And if you was telling yourself, well, I can't happen for me, or maybe I should just step back, that's that down, that loneliness, that's that negative emotion coaching you through something, right? And it is making you weaker because it's giving you the opportunity or the option to opt out of your own life. And again, as we always say, if you're not going for your own goals, who's going to get them for you, right? So then ask yourself, do you believe that letting go is a sign of strength or weakness? Or are you like me? Do you think it's both? It's very contextual. Do you think context makes a difference? Okay, good. They deleted that. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, no, it's still up there. Boo, boo, boo. The next question is, how do your expectations affect your ability to let go? Man, listen, if I can describe how my expectations affect my ability to let go, they would be the one to call them handcuffs. My expectations or your expectations can become prison of your own creation. The cell that traps you, the bars that allow you to know what a caged bird sings. And for me, my expectations can be a handcuff. One way it is a handcuff is from that glass half full mentality that I have at times. There really isn't much that I don't think that I can't do. If I put my mind to it, I think I can do anything, right? And that expectation, that thought, that idea can in a trauma race for a long time. You gotta also take time to recognize where your good qualities can also hinder you. And me and my abilities, I know I could be a space, or you probably can be similar to this, where you could be in a space where you can be very difficult on yourself, hard on yourself, because you have high expectations for yourself. So you pass them high expectations to other people. You can talk like, man, listen, listen, I ain't even gonna lie. Toddy probably think I got there lecture her every day, and I do. I got high expectations of myself, right? And they become a prison because at times it doesn't matter your expectations. You don't have the ability. The only thing you can control is yourself, and you don't have the ability to control other people's actions and decisions. And when you have those high expectations, but other people's actions or intentions get in the way of those expectations, they can bring you very low. For example, to clarify, so like as we talked about, when you have that job that you love, you have positions, you have plans, you have visions, you have direction for where you want to take this, and then you lose the job, right? Because you had high expectations and you lost that, it can bring you to a very low place if you don't recognize how your expectations affect your ability to let go. A lot of times, empaths, their ability to love shapes their expectations. And that ability to love and give love puts them in a place where they don't always recognize when it's time to let go. That's why you hear most empaths talk about their gifts in terms of gift and curse. It's because their expectations affect their ability to let go. If for no other way, their ability to recognize, right? And you got to be aware of this. Not saying that they can't let go, because once you're aware of these things, you can begin to learn what you need to navigate these things, right? So if you're an empath and you deeply affectionate and you build relationships by time and effort, you also need to be able to recognize when it's okay to let go. It's funny because number 8, we just talked about that. Zaya, I appreciate you again, girl. I see you in sneaking in. I love you for it. We about to wrap up in a minute again. I, um, I did. I think I did tell your father on last men's group or something like that. I said you made my day. He was happy that you can make my day. But every time you show up, girl, you make my day. Thank you. But number 8 is a funny question because we low key just answered that when we talked about what emotions come up when we release thinking about releasing control, and we discussed anxiety. What role does trust in yourself, others, or life play in your ability to let go? Listen, I deal with this one all the time in my work atmosphere. If you want to get something done right, you got to do it yourself. That is a I don't trust anybody statement. It affects your ability to let go. I see so many people in leadership and management, when especially if their staff make a mistake. Parents do this too when their kid make a mistake. They're like, I gotta do it myself. Wives do it to their husbands. Husbands do it to their wives. People do this all the time because they lack trust in people. Trust that people can get it right. Trust that people may do it differently. One of the first things I had to learn about delegation is they're going to do it their way. And their way can be very different than yours. But as long as it gets to the same destination, does it really matter how they got there? No, it doesn't. It gave you the results you needed. It may not have the exact language or done the exact way that you do it, but it's done. So that ability to letting go is a trust issue. So if you're struggling with letting go, you got to start thinking about your ideas and your relationship with this trust, right? Do you trust yourself? And when you ask, do you trust yourself? Because it's funny, I asked someone the other day when I was pouring into them, they were saying something. What did they say? Because I remember telling them, I say, what, do you trust yourself? Well, they were like, well, I give people the benefit of the doubt and stuff like that. So I was like, do you trust yourself? And they was like, yeah, most of the time. And I was like, well, I find that interesting because none of those words are words of people who trust themselves. They don't even worry about that stuff. So trust, when you're thinking about trusting yourself, that's trust that you pick the right person. Trust that you pick the right environment. Trust that you actually have the skills to be able to do that. Right? Know that you have capable people around you. Know that these capable people have your back. That's where we talked about a space of trust is important to the healing process. You have to become a space for trust where people can trust you, and you have to trust people, including the person you're closest to, which is yourself, right? Then again, others. Do you think others are capable? Or are you one of those people that think that people can change like this? You will never be able to trust if you think people change like this. Or do you trust that life has a design for you? That the energy around you wants to see you successful? Do you trust that that is real? Do you believe with all of your heart that that is real? Right? So the role that trust plays in your ability to let go is a major role. Even when you decide to let go, you have to trust that the decision that you made is the right one, right? Which is tough. So it is. Letting go is a trust-based idea, a trust-based energy work, right? Trusting that you know it's time. It's intuition. It's recognizing that your third eye, your spirit is speaking to you. Well, one of them bodies, whether it be your spiritual, emotional, physical, or mental, but one body, somebody is trying to tell you the truth, right? So I think we've been having fun. We went over a little bit, which is cool because I always start a little late. But we're gonna wrap this up. And we're gonna continue because we'll continue next week with relationships. How you handle unresolved situations of conversation. I ignore them. No, I'm just kidding. I do sometimes though. But I think we'll go into the relationship and growth and acceptance prompts next week. That'll give us enough time. And I'll try not to do so much side talking at the beginning, but we get the job, and I'll be so happy to be with the soul family that we just gonna talk, right? But again, I appreciate you spending some time with me, Soul Swami, and the Soul family. Hope to see you here Thursday for book club or back here Tuesday for Soul Swami Live, where we will continue our discussion or answering prompts around this idea of letting go so we can assess our relationship with letting go. Um, Remember, shows every week at 7. Thursday we will continue reading. I keep wanting to say Before I Let Go, but it ain't Before I Let Go. That's one of the first books we read. This Makes Me Wanna Holler. We'll continue reading Makes Me Wanna Holler, and I hope to see you there, family. Again, much gratitude. I thank you, and I'll see you Thursday or next Tuesday.